My name is Cheryl Hannon, and I'm also one of the co-chairs for the 2021 Impetus Grant Review Cycle. First, I want to say that you will be working with a great group of women and that I think you will really enjoy the process. Don't worry, we are here to support you through every step, and we encourage you to reach out along the way. As for proposal evaluations, they are thorough and thoughtful. This is the opportunity to completely and carefully assess each NPO's submittal. You are given tools to guide you, one of which is the performance evaluation form. Proposal evaluations take place in 2 steps. You will complete the first part of the evaluation independently, allowing you to develop your opinions and questions without the influence of others. This happens between the time you receive the proposals and your first GRC meeting. There will be 4 grant review committees. While we don't know yet how many proposals each committee will be tasked to review, we recommend that you plan approximately 30 minutes to an hour per proposal for your independent review. The second part of the evaluation takes place during your first GRC meeting. That meeting will be scheduled between February 3rd and February 6th, 2021. The format is a facilitated discussion where everyone is heard, you collectively fill in any blanks, and consider each person's perspective to arrive at a group consensus. You will work through a process to decide whether it makes sense to remove proposals at that time or move them forward as site visit candidates. Once you receive the NPO proposals for your committee from your chairs, you will individually review each along with any supporting documents. It is not our job to evaluate the finances of the NPOs whose proposals we review. Prior to our assessment, a dedicated impact committee will have vetted the NPOs to determine their financial stability, including potential to survive the current economic downturn caused by the COVID crisis. You will then complete a preliminary evaluation of each using the proposal evaluation tool. This document will be sent to you along with the proposals. Print off one proposal evaluation tool for each proposal and complete it, not as a formula or numeric calculation, but instead to keep track of your thoughts and observations, frame your assessment, and prepare for a group discussion. You might keep some questions in the back of your mind, such as, how will their proposal benefit our community? And how will the grant funds be used to strengthen their organization? Overall, consider the question, is the NPO in the best position to utilize the funds and have the greatest, most meaningful impact? The forms are not turned in to anyone. They are for your use only to bring shape to and clarify your thinking. Plan for how to most concisely and effectively share your views in a group setting. It is recommended that you come to your GRC's first meeting with notes representing your thinking, an open mind, and the goal of coming to a shared mindset. Often committee members will change their minds about what they have written during group discussions, and this is normal. It helps to be open to your opinions evolving. There is a natural tension between objectivity and subjectivity. Both are valuable, and the tension is normal. We think finding a comfort level with the tension aids in an all-encompassing process. Your committee will consider all perspectives and reach consensus by way of a facilitated group discussion. We try to articulate as clearly as possible why we would not move a proposal forward so the NPO may receive constructive feedback. Now I'm going to turn the training over to Sandy Drew, my co-chair, to cover site visits. On to you, Sandy.
Thank you, Cheryl. And thank you, everyone. Congratulations, you've reached the final segment of the Grant Review Committee training. Great job. And it's a lot of information to absorb, we know that. So remember that at any time, you can access the materials on the Impact website. And also, your committee co-chairs are a terrific resource, so contact them with your questions. Now the grand finale, site visits and committee meeting number 2. Cheryl described committee meeting number 1 when your group will select proposals to move forward for site visits. Please take out your calendars. You can see the dates when site visits will take place on the screen. You will want to attend as many site visits as your schedule permits. It's a very tight window. The nonprofits are likely to be a little bit nervous when the meeting takes place. Site visits are an exploration. They are not an inquisition. The goal is to learn more about the nonprofit, more about how they will use an Impetus grant, and for you to gain some insight into the leadership of the organization. At the first committee meeting, the co-chairs will ask for volunteers to serve in 2 very important roles: site visit leader and recorder. The site visit leader has the really happy task of contacting the nonprofit to schedule a date for the meeting. As soon as that date is confirmed, she will send an invitation to everyone on your committee to join. One of the co-chairs of the committee will attend also, plus one of the 3 Impetus Grant co-chairs. These experienced impact volunteers attend the meeting as a resource only. It is the site visit leader's responsibility to manage the meeting. She sends the agenda, the questions, and the names of all participants in advance to the nonprofit. We don't want to surprise them. We want them to be as fully prepared as possible. We all know how Zoom meetings can go. Sometimes they're perfect, sometimes not so much. For each site visit meeting, your committee will appoint a technical coordinator. It will be her responsibility to manage Zoom so that all participants can engage in the content fully. It's very important to follow the agenda and address all of the questions. Make sure time doesn't slip away. It's amazing how fast the meeting can go. It can be very frustrating for both sides if you run out of time. For each of the site visits, a timekeeper will be appointed, and it's that person's job to keep the conversation moving. During the meeting, the recorder has the really important task of taking notes and may request that information be repeated or clarified. While the meeting details are fresh in everyone's minds, you do another Zoom meeting right away using the site visit evaluation tool as a guide for the discussion. This is what that evaluation tool looks like. It's only 1 page, and the questions are very straightforward. Once again, the recorder tracks all comments, and she fills out the evaluation form. Following this Zoom meeting, the site visit leader and the recorder will prepare a very brief 2-page report. That report goes to the committee co-chairs, and they in turn will send out all reports to the members of your group. Before the second and final committee meeting, just as Cheryl said, for committee meeting number 1, make sure you read all the proposals in advance. For this meeting, please read all of the site visit reports in advance. At the meeting, and this is a tough task, be as objective as possible. If you are a site visit leader and recorder, it's difficult not to fall a little bit in love with the nonprofit organization you got to know so well. Only a certain number of proposals can move forward to the full impact membership. It is very challenging to pare down the list, but that is your role as a grant review committee member. Now, give yourself a big pat on the back for completing the training. Thank you for volunteering to serve on one of 4 grant review committees this year. And remember again that all the training materials are available online at the Impact website, and your grant committee co-chairs are ready to answer your questions. While serving on a committee, you will learn so much about the nonprofit community in Sonoma Valley. And as with many nonprofit volunteer commitments, we hope that you will gain much more from the experience that you put in. Have fun and great job. Thank you so much.